No shade to Snyder, but I don't like Snyderverse.
What do you think about the change from Henry Cavill's Superman to now David Corn Sweat's Superman?
The whole DC cinematic experience felt kind of sad and down.
I just want DC to have a hit because they've had some bombs in the past.
Superman is very much like, I feel like is a very Boy Scout mentality, but he's willing to bend the rules if it means, the better for other people.
Now, last question. So, for this Superman movie, what would you rate your excitement from 1 to 10?
What they say now. I like to welcome everybody out to the Samurai. Indeed. Here we go, one side. Really need. Very beautifully, very alliterated. Little battle raps for you. Little battle rap. Really need. What you got? Very beautifully alliterated. Little battle raps for you. So alive. So come on through.
All right. So, what's your name?
My name's Marcus.
Ethan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so have you seen the teaser for Superman?
Yes, I have.
All right, so what'd you think about it?
I'm so excited. I watched it at our warehouse, and I literally was screaming the whole time.
All right.
I'm a huge Superman fan, and actually I was so excited to see something that was so to the core of real Superman.
Got you. So, do you think it's better than Man of Steel?
Absolutely.
Absolutely? All right.
No shade to Snyder, but I don't like Snyderverse.
Okay, I want to hear your thoughts on that. So, the whole evil Superman thing, going serious, could that have been interesting, or was it just a bad direction from the start?
It can be interesting, but I think it's so hard to make him evil or dark because of who he is at his core. Even when they tried to do Red Sun, he still despite being in a country or an area full of war and hatred, he still was that kind person who all he wanted to do was help.
Exactly.
And even in the new Absolute series, he's doing all he can to just help those people around him without killing anyone, with doing the least amount of damage possible. So it was really strange to see him just not caring about the people around him.
That's true, yeah, because he's always helping the oppressed. He stands for hope.
Exactly.
And going off of Red Sun, so I really like Red Sun Superman, Soviet Superman. So do you think they should make that as an Elseworld movie? Because I know James Gunn, you know about the whole James Gunn reboot and DCU.
Yeah, that he's doing a lot. Really excited for Jason Momoa being Lobo.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd have to see how he handles these movies to then make an opinion on if Red Sun should come out into a movie.
Yeah, true.
It would be a good one for a movie since it's a distinct story. It's just the three issues. So I think it'd be good for a movie.
That'd be perfect for a movie.
Yeah.
Especially because I know they have the main DCU and then Elseworlds.
Yeah.
So they could have the Batman going on, but then also have a Red Sun Superman movie off to the side.
Yeah, and all of that trailer was so impactful. It had just the right amount of impact within the scores and the scenes that they chose, and I'm so excited to see what they chose to hide, what they think is the big moments that are good enough to hide, but all the moments that they had in the trailer were so amazing. So I'm so excited to see what they're hiding from us.
Okay. Wait, do you know about the one shot with, I think it's, people are saying Ultraman, with a guy in the black uniform?
Oh yeah. I can't even pull it up in my mind right now. Oh no.
I'll show you a picture of him.
Yeah.
Because he has a U on his chest. He kind of looks like, you ever watch The Boys?
No, I don't, actually.
So there's a character in that show that he kind of looks like.
Yeah.
But let's see, Ultraman. This guy.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying that could be a clone of Superman, and it's not confirmed at all. It's just a rumor. But if they go that direction and say it's another evil Superman versus the good Superman, could that cause a divide amongst the fan base or no?
I mean, it's comics. It'll always cause a divide amongst the fans.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool. I'm a little worried about how much it seems like they're introducing in one movie. Because I know they're introducing like Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner.
Well, they got Mr. Terrific.
And Mr. Terrific. Like, so I'm just kind of like worried. I'm like, hold on, how many are you introducing all at once?
Yeah, and then remember, I think it was Batman v Superman, where a lot of people complained that it was too much at once.
Yeah. But then we also have like the Flashpoint movies where they introduce all of the Justice League in one movie.
Yeah.
So that's also where it's like, it just depends on like how it's handled. I think we'll be like, because the Flashpoint movies did amazing at like introducing all the characters.
Yeah, the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah.
The animated one.
Yes, the animated.
That was goated. I really liked that one. That was probably one of the best DC animated films.
Whole series, so freaking amazing. It's like
Yeah.
my favorites. I will always sit down and like rewatch them 20 times.
Oh, what'd you think about them using the John Williams theme in the trailer and putting like a guitar riff on it?
Amazing. I think it really like highlighted everything that they were trying to highlight like in the movie, and just kind of like that action that is like at the core of Superman.
That's true, yeah. So is
taking
there
action.
one thing in the movie that you're like expecting that like fits with Superman's character that if that's not in the movie, it'll make you or break it?
I think his relationship with other people, very specifically how he handles his relationships with other people, specifically Lois Lane. I'd love Jimmy Olsen. If we get Jimmy Olsen, I'd be so excited.
He's in it.
Okay, I didn't see any Jimmy Olsen stuff, so, but how he like handles everything with Jimmy Olsen, with Lois, and specifically his parents.
Okay.
If his relationship with his parents is as kind of what distant feeling like it was in Man of Steel, I think I'll be really disappointed. It doesn't look like it's going to be. It looks like he's having like a heart-to-heart with his dad at some point.
Yeah, I saw
But
that.
as long as those relationships are as strong as they should be, like Smallville, because he's so close to his family in Smallville, and he's so close to his community in Smallville. Even when being treated like an outsider, he still is so there for his community, where I feel like in Man of Steel, he was treated like an outsider, and then he was like, fine, I'm an outsider, which is like so not Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And so I think just his relationship with the world around him will make it or break it.
Speaking of Smallville, have you seen Superman and Lois? The recent Superman show?
I have not.
Oh,
I'm really
you're
bad at
gonna
watching
love
TV.
that.
I'm really bad at watching like TV and shows.
Well, if you liked Smallville, I think you'll love Superman and Lois.
Okay, I'll
it's
have to
4
watch it.
seasons, and
Oh, only 4?
yeah, only 4 because they had to end it because of this new Superman movie,
but
which
perfect.
that's a whole nother thing. But in that show, it's basically they have a family, Superman and Lois. They have 2 sons.
Oh yeah. I think didn't they? It's not Tom Welling, is it?
No, it's Tyler Hoechlin.
Okay.
So the guy who's in the Arrowverse,
Yeah.
he got his own show.
Perfect.
Now, last question. So, for this Superman movie, what would you rate your excitement from 1 to 10?
10.
10? Oh,
10.
perfect. Okay.
10. I am so excited for it. I have been like talking to people in my life like nonstop about it. Specifically Crypto as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I didn't even bring up Crypto.
Crypto the Super Dog was like my favorite cartoon growing up as a kid. So I was so excited to like see Crypto. I like actually like got up like out of my seat. I was like, Crypto!
Yeah, that shot of like Superman looking and you just see like a storm coming. You're like,
Yeah.
what is that? It's Crypto.
It's our boy Crypto. I'm nervous on the CGI of Crypto,
Yeah.
but I'm excited for Crypto.
Boy, I appreciate your thoughts. It was really cool. So, what's your name, bro?
Spencer.
Ethan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so what do you know about the upcoming Superman movie?
James Gunn is directing it, I believe.
Yeah.
And he did the Guardians movies, and he's like in control of the entire DCU, or whatever they call it now.
It's a
Yeah.
restart.
DC extended, or it's a restart.
So, yeah, so DCU.
DCU now.
The DCEU was before, that was the extended one.
Oh, okay, very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and so yeah, he's got passion and he's got a vision, and like he's really good at executing that in my experience, or in my opinion. And so I'm really excited. I'm excited for Crypto.
Yeah. Crypto looked cool, right?
It looked amazing, and I loved the like, I don't know, Superman falling down a little bit and Take Me Home Crypto in the trailer looked incredible.
Yeah.
And so ultimately I'm really excited to see. I mean, I really liked all of the Spider-Man or the Superman movies before, and had I don't know. I have low expectations.
Low expectations.
honest
Okay.
with
You did bring up
So-
something interesting. You said like Superman being down. It's one of the hardest things to do with writing Superman is he's so powerful. And it's like, how do you make him look kind of vulnerable in a state where it's like he has to make a comeback?
Right, yeah.
So I like that intro to the trailer, showing him wheezing and then him getting stronger.
Totally, yeah. And watching him not just be omnipotent, but also be like, trying to figure out how to get himself out of a tough situation is how I want to see Superman. And so if James Gunn can make that happen, like I'm excited. I have reasonable expectations.
Reasonable,
Better way to
okay.
say it.
What do you think about the change from Henry Cavill's Superman to now David Corenswet's Superman? So more
Henry.
evil, like Henry Cavill's Superman wasn't initially evil, but just that whole evil Superman stereotype and him more serious to now more classic Superman, like hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, Henry Cavill has the Superman aesthetic. Like, he's definitely got that on lock. But the like evil Superman thing, I don't know. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I think that the DCU does need to start off with something more positive at the core.
Yeah.
Right? And I do think that going forward, there needs to be something more that we're rooting for and less. It did kind of, the whole DC cinematic experience felt kind of sad and down in a way that I'm not looking for the Superman movies to have all the quips that Marvel likes to do exactly, but something more positive, something more hopeful, something, it's the beginning of a new kind of era, and
It is, yeah.
I think that it's got to be more positive, and so I'm really glad that they are going in that direction and hopefully he comes out of this with some interesting reason to have a second movie.
Hopefully, yeah. I kept wishing for a Man of Steel 2 for so long, and I was like, the title of Man of Tomorrow would have been perfect.
Very cool. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Now, I want to get your thoughts on this, because you mentioned this is a new universe, and they're actually not doing no origin story. That was one thing James Gunn mentioned, that they're hitting the ground running. All these heroes are already active. So Batman's been active for a while. Superman has been active. We're skipping the whole origin story. They have to work their way up to it. So what do you think about that?
I think those are some of my favorite things. There's a reason why they keep putting them on the screen, I think, beyond just the fact that they are worried that people don't know who the characters are. They are fun stories to reinterpret, I think. But I don't really know much beyond what has been in the movies already. So as far as what story potential there is beyond, I fell in love with Smallville when I was younger.
Okay, all right.
I love Smallville, and I love that. I love Clark Kent coming to terms with his power, and finding a place in the world. And so I'm interested to see what they do if he's already beyond all that. If he's already gotten a footing and he knows where he is. I'm sure there's a reason why Superman comics have been on shelves for decades. And
Yeah,
decades.
80 years.
80 years, yeah, exactly. So I'm sure there are plenty of interesting stories to be told, but yeah, my initial instinct is just I don't even know what they would do besides just more aliens. It's a challenge to make things like that interesting. Sometimes, especially a lot with these modern movies where there's so much CGI and so much just kind of gray goop on screen as these aliens are just fighting each other because it's so
Not practical.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's just not grounded in reality in any way anymore. And it's just another alien showed up and they've got a different set of powers. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of find a way to make it a human story.
Yeah, that should be really good, because I noticed in the trailer when he's saving the girl, and then just certain moments that show that humanity side of Superman. And James Gunn actually mentioned, he's this Superman will stand for humanity. He's the best of us. So if they go that direction, I think it would be pretty great.
I think it'd be pretty amazing. Yeah.
And speaking of Smallville, have you watched Superman and Lois?
No, I never did. Is it on the UB?
So it was on a CW, yeah.
Oh, CW. Right. Yes. Okay.
It's amazing, bro. I think if you love Smallville, you'll love Superman Lois. 4 seasons, and it's a Superman who has 2 kids now.
Okay.
So Jonathan and Jordan, Superboys.
Wow.
And you see him move back to Smallville and deal with all these new threats, deal with being Superman while also being a father.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think you would like that.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, I really liked Supergirl.
Okay, yeah.
I only watched like 4 seasons or so. I don't remember. It
It dipped after that,
started
yeah.
going week to week, and I didn't keep up with it after that. Once I got caught up, I guess. But I think there's probably a good enough back catalog now that I should probably revisit that as well.
You could, yeah. And it's the whole Arrowverse, like Flash, Arrow. I loved Arrow. Arrow's one of my favorite shows, yeah.
I did never even try it. I've got to try it.
It's really good.
I've heard really good things about it. So.
All right, so last question. For this Superman movie, what would you rate your excitement from 1 to 10? 1 being you're never gonna see it, 10 being you're see it day 1.
Oof, well, I'm definitely seeing it day 1, so I guess I'm going for a 10.
All right, there we go. That's awesome. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Nice
It's
meeting you.
talking to you.
All right, so first I gotta say, like the Superman chants at the end, that always gets me hyped.
Yeah.
But what'd you think about it?
It looks fire, and I like that it's like a return to like, it's very comic booky. It looks like it's gonna be. It's which is cool because comic books are kind of like crazy and silly, and like I feel like a lot of like movies don't really capture that are superhero movies. They're kind of just like straightforward stories, and I like it to be like, no, let's get crazy with it,
So you don't like more grounded, you like very fantastical.
I like grounded characters, but I like, how do I describe this?
Making the fantastical in
make
reality.
Yeah, there we go. You put the words in my mouth.
Gotcha. I think that's what you were going with. But for this movie, they're kind of doing some like callbacks to Christopher Reeve's Superman, like with the John Williams theme. Have you seen those movies?
I saw the first 2 years ago. I don't remember much about them. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you know about Superman that's like that, about his character and what you expect to see in this movie?
I mean, he's got a very kind of like Captain America personality where he's like straightforward from, very kind-hearted, very strong, very, humble, all that stuff.
Symbol of hope.
Yeah, symbol of hope. There we go. Yeah.
Now, what is one thing in this movie that you really want to see? It could be action, it could be like Lex Luthor, the villain, something like that.
Ooh. I just want DC to have a hit because they've had some bombs in the past. And
Same, bro.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
I hope it's great too.
Well, hey, what would you rate your excitement from 1 to 10? 1 being that you're never gonna see it.
Sure.
10 being you'll see it day 1 when it comes out.
8.
Okay, 8.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then one last thing.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have a book coming out in April, so look up Joy Punks.
Point at the camera, tell them.
Go to joypunksbook.com. It's joy like happy, punks like punk rock, and then book. Comes out April 19th on Bicycle Day.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah.
And then what was your name, bro?
Joel.
Ethan, nice to meet you. All right, so you said you watched the Superman teaser, right? Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on it, like initial thoughts? And then you mentioned that some people are complaining about it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they were complaining about like that camera angle and everything like that, and how it looks a little too like, I think someone else mentioned like kind of very comic booky.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of the goal most comic book movie renditions are going for, especially these days. That's the hard thing about any like live action movies. It's very hard to kind of like give the same energy that comics do.
Yeah.
So that's why people are kind of a little iffy about it, because the last Superman movie definitely I didn't really like it.
You didn't like Man of Steel?
No, I didn't. It was very like,
Too serious?
Yeah, they didn't portray Superman the way like he is rendered in the comics and in the animated series.
Okay.
They kind of like made him too. How do I put it? Like Superman is very much like, I feel like is a very Boy Scout mentality, but he's willing to bend the rules if it means the better for other people.
Gotcha.
Like that's how I always felt Superman was. Like,
and you watched, you mentioned the animated series.
Yeah, Superman,
so
the animated
DCAU?
series. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that? I love that show. What did you think about it?
Well, no, actually, no. So more older. I watched the older Superman the animated series, the one that also came out with Batman the animated series.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So you're talking about that. No, I love that one. I love the way they also portray Superman more than just someone who is brute strength. Superman is also like, highly intelligent. But when it comes to what Superman is more of the character, and Clark Kent is his persona.
Yeah,
that's
that duality.
That duality. So when you see Clark Kent as this kind of like he's duncy. He's not very clever. He's
clumsy and stuff.
He just does his work and that's it. But Superman is the complete opposite of him, because Superman is who he really is, and he has to hide his identity as Clark Kent. Usually it's the other way around, where people superheroes are like one person and then they become their superhero persona. Superman's the opposite. He's
that's
different.
interesting. Okay,
that's how I see it. Like that's how I've always seen it when it comes to Superman. And there's lots of episodes in the series that show how highly intelligent he is. Also comparing him to let's see, Batman. He's even been able to challenge Batman when it comes to like detective skills. Like, I mean, because he also thinks as a superhuman level, not just being superhero.
So you mentioned that. So Superman is his real self. Now, we'll get back to Superman, but with Batman, there's like this argument where some people think that Bruce is his real self, but then some people think that Batman is his real self. Who do you think is like the real self of the duality of Bruce Wayne and Batman?
I think that's hard, because you go into that that psychology when it comes to Batman. What he suffered is how he became Batman, but I feel like Bruce is what he would have become if nothing happened. So Bruce is himself if everything went right that day on Crime Alley. So like if nothing happened to his parents, everything went fine, he would have become that playboy billionaire who also donates to people, makes all these charity events, gets all the girls. Like I feel like he's probably playing into both. Like this is like the person that people thought he was going to be, and then versus Batman, where is like what he became. Because there's always that mentality, like he wishes he could go back and have his childhood back, because he's claimed that in multiple series that he lost his childhood, and that's who he became Batman because of that incident.
Started that war on crime because of that.
Because there's been lots of comic book renditions, and even in the anime series, where that didn't happen, and he did become acts just like Bruce Wayne does.
Yeah.
So that's what you can argue, like Bruce Wayne is him if he wasn't, if he didn't have that traumatic experience that happened to him.
Yeah, it's just the night at Crime Alley.
Exactly.
All right, so back to Superman. So it's going to have Lex Luthor as the villain, and then it's going to have a lot of different heroes like Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern. Now, there was one complaint with the DCEU that they rushed into it. That with Batman v Superman, you had all these heroes, so much going on. Now, do you think that's any different now, or no?
I think it is. I think they're rushing into, or I feel like they're not seeing what the most popular superheroes there are from each franchise. So like, let's say Green Lantern. When I think Green Lantern, my favorite is Jon Stewart. He's always been like my favorite Green Lantern. Because I know about Guy Gardner, and there's also it's Guy Gardner, and then also
Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner,
and then both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart had been in the DC animated series, in Justice League Unlimited. They were both.
What do you think about Lanterns? Did you hear about that?
Which one?
So they're making a new Green Lantern show coming next year called Lanterns, and it's gonna be like a buddy cop show. It's gonna be 8 episodes. It's gonna have Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. Actually, I'll show you. They had like a first look.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely.
So check this out. They just like.
Well, I love their dynamic, because Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan have always worked together. When it comes to Guy Gardner, there's always that controversy of Guy Gardner's attitude, and like he doesn't fit the Green Lantern persona when people think Green Lantern.
So that's the first look, yeah. And it's coming out early next year, and that's gonna be. Technically, it might be the second or third project for the new DCU. Speaking of the DCU, what do you think about them restarting DC as a whole?
Well, hopefully, I do hope it goes really well. When it comes to DC, unfortunately, when it comes to the DC animated like movies, they have kind of flopped a little bit.
Yeah.
Like gone down. I mean, the Batman trilogy that first came out with Heath Ledger was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, Christian Bale and
Those
Christopher
were pretty
Nolan.
amazing. But after that, they kind of started flopping. The what's it called? Justice League was kind of a big flop. I didn't enjoy it at all. Wonder Woman was pretty good. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. But when it comes to, I've always felt when it comes to DC animated films, they are very superior to Marvel animated films, and for some reason, Marvel's very good at live action films.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed Marvel live action films. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 so far is my favorite from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, actually,
Amazing
so
Spider-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy, directed by James Gunn, he'll be the same director on Superman.
Oh, but let's. Hopefully, he like has. Well, he might be a fan of both. You have to really find someone who knows not only the community but the comics as well, the reading. Because if they don't, then they might get things like very wrong.
Well, good news is it seems like he does. So he's using. You read All-Star Superman. And there's a couple others. So he's using certain stories as inspirations. Superman for All Seasons. So he is using the comics. And then he's actually the one that's spearheading this whole DCU. He's kind of like the Kevin Feige of DC now. Ooh. Yeah, so he's leading it. And with this movie, he mentioned that Superman is really going to be in touch with his humanity. And he's like the best of us. And one big thing with this universe is that it's hitting the ground running. So no origin stories. We're not gonna see Krypton explode again. We're not gonna see Bruce's parents die again. They've already been heroes for a while. So what do you think about that?
No, that's even better because it kind of like most of the movies kind of try to put more emphasis on newer people who are coming into the franchise and don't cater towards people who have already been in the franchise, because we've already heard the origin story over and over again. Almost in every Batman movie, there's always the origin story, and we're kind of tired of it. Like we know what happened. Like we want to see maybe in between where they're becoming superheroes or they're starting out or like they're into their senior years.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing with the Batman for this universe is he's supposed to have his son, Damian Wayne. So like a Batman that's really established.
What's her name? Tasha Ghul?
Oh, Talia al Ghul.
Talia Ghul.
Yeah. And then how do you pronounce? There's Ra's al Ghul and Ra's al Ghul. Which one you go by? So
there's always this argument where I believe the argument is it depends on who's pronouncing it. I believe the Hebrew term is Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Is the correct term, but English pronunciation like
Ra's al
example, my name is Joel, but people always have a hard time pronouncing it, so I go by Joel.
Got
so
you.
And like if you really want to honor the character, it's Ra's al Ghul, right?
Yeah.
So like that, you have to pronounce it correctly,
I always go by Ra's al Ghul. I used to say Ra's because they said that in Batman Begins, and I thought that was how you pronounced it for so long. And then I heard them say Ra's al Ghul in the animated series. I'm like, that's correct. Well, hey, last question. So, for this Superman movie coming out in July, what would you rate your excitement from 1 to 10? 1 being you're never gonna see it, 10 being you're see it day one.
So definitely, I would say 9 because I'm still kind of iffy about it. The trailer. Like I said, I did enjoy it. It did seem like something different, and that kind of like drew me into it. Where most trailers are kind of like very static now these days.
Yeah.
And so, but the only other thing that it doesn't get me too excited is I kind of want more diversity in the DC universe, where we're starting to do it. We're starting to branch out to other superheroes because there's lesser known superheroes that are also popular. Like Blue Beetle got his debut as well,
Blue Beetle was so
excited.
good.
It was good. I was excited for Blue Beetle. That was so awesome. I'm hoping for a Static Shock one. That would be amazing. I grew up with Static Shock too, and even had crossovers to Superman and Batman. But I'm definitely gonna go see with my friends. Something that we gotta plan out. Not probably gonna see on day one. I want to kind of take a step back and see what people say.
Okay.
And that'll get me excited to see it.
Gosh, I do really want to see a Static Shock revival, maybe a show, movie, also an Icon. From like I think it's Milestone Comics. I'll show you Icon. You might have saw
it. Or
him.
maybe.
He's never been like a show or a like movie, but he has like comics and he's really cool. This guy, well, right here.
Oh wait, I do know Icon. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he also he appeared in I think he made his first anime debut in Young Justice.
Yeah, I think so.
With
Yeah.
Protege. What was her name?
Was
Young Justice was amazing. I love.
what was his protege? I always forget the protege's name, but I know Icon. Oh, Rocket.
Rocket. There we go. Rocket, there we go.
Oh yeah. Dang, they made a whole storyline about her. I don't know how I remembered Icon, but not Rocket.
No.
But yeah, if they can make something with them, or even so they have Supergirl next year. She's finally getting a movie. And then they have Lanterns. Booster Gold, he's getting a TV show.
Booster Gold, he's such a controversial character, but like I love his growth and his character development, where he comes from the future to be a superhero to get fame, and then starts kind of transitioning to okay, maybe it's more. There's more to being a hero than just fame, you know. That's what I loved about Booster Gold. I just hated his attitude at first, but then I started. He started growing on me. I was like, okay, he's definitely someone who wants to learn, you know. And that's what I like about Superman and Batman. Mm-hmm. They're both willing to learn, and they're both willing to change. When you got superheroes that are not willing to change, that usually kind of makes them very, you know, stale.
Very stale, yeah. And I hope we see Booster Gold and Blue Beetle team up, because you know that's always the dynamic. But hey, bro, it was nice meeting you, and really good conversation, man. I liked your thoughts.